It's so crazy. The Democrats went from who's going to pick my cotton now to who's going to pick my vegetables and clean my house. The main reason why I've seen that people are so mad about all these deportations going on is because who's going to work for cheap now? Do you hear yourself? You guys are openly advocating for illegal labor at slave wages. And you want to say that we're the racist ones. Got it. All these celebrity tears about literal criminals getting deported and making America more safe. Where were the tears for Laken Riley when she was brutally murdered by an illegal alien? Or I don't know, what about the other 8 women that were killed by illegals? What about the major drug crisis going on in America right now? All thanks to having the southern border open. Where were the tears for the 300,000 kids that the Biden administration lost at the southern border? Did you know that the Trump administration already found 80,000 of those missing kids? But no, we're gonna get on the internet, film ourselves crying, rewatch the video, and say, you know what, that's good. Saying that you wish that you could do something when you are a billionaire. From what I've heard, getting an American citizenship is pretty expensive. You can do something. You can help people become citizens the right way. And at least do something a little more than filming yourself crying on the internet for pity. It's a slap in the face to every immigrant that has come here legally and did it the right way and put in the work.
We got to talk about Democrats and their racism. Because for a group of individuals who always say that the opposite side of the political aisle are the ones that are racist, it sure seems like Democrats are. And you just heard a little bit of it there. Who is going to pick my food for dirt cheap? Who's going to do it? Who's going to do the slave labor for me? We're used to having the slaves. That's what Democrats sound like, right? They didn't want to get rid of slaves before. Sounds like they don't want to get rid of slave labor now. How ironic is that? The same party, same exact party, isn't it? So I want to play a couple of clips of Democrats actually going into this because we got to call this stuff out. We have to call out the hypocrisy and the foolishness of all of this. And you know, it's also kind of interesting that nobody said anything when Barack Obama was deporting people, but maybe we'll save that conversation for another video. Let's dive in.
That if you are trying to actively hire illegal immigrants, if you think that's best, if you are trying to game the system, if you are trying to help someone break U.S. federal immigration law, I think if we're going to have a true crackdown on illegal immigration in this country, it has to involve everybody who's participating in it. And I think you've raised a good point with this topic. And so employers and anyone else who's part of this pipeline, I think they ought to be put on notice. And you got to play by the rule. Everybody has to play by the rule.
I don't want to hear that they're doing work that no one else will do. Talk to guys in the building trades, plumbers, contractors,
picking strawberries.
These building trades guys are being hurt.
I can't
by
wait.
labor that shouldn't be here.
I can't wait until American women can't get blueberries for their smoothies. I cannot wait until there is a full crackdown on all small businesses, as if that's going to be the solution to the immigration problem. It is just going to put immigration-related issues further into the darker corners. We're not going to see them. It's just going to become even harder to solve the problem. It doesn't make sense to punish individuals and people when there is a broken system.
I mean, look, I think if you came here illegally and you did it, you broke the law. You have to understand it's a new day in America. And number two, I still think the case for total economic collapse, if we have some deportation, is totally overstated. I mean, it's obvious the priority is violent criminals, and the second priority is people with existing deportation orders. I think it's the vast majority of what's going to go on, for the next couple of years. And I don't think that's going to have any impact on the economy at all.
But I wonder about just acknowledging the role of undocumented people in the economy. I mean, I think that's the part that's not happening. I mean, earlier today, Stephen Miller was on with Jake Tapper, and he was asked.
And I'm glad she brought up the Stephen Miller clip because we're going to get into that as well. But it's interesting that they want to bring that up now. The economy, our cheap labor. But where were they when Obama was deporting a bunch of people? Did they say anything then? It's also quite interesting that that's the first thing she went to. Who's going to pick my crops so I can have my blueberries for my smoothie? The fuck? Sounds quite similar to who's going to pick my cotton. I don't think that's very far off, do you? Y'all let me know. That sounds quite the same to me. Cotton, who's gonna pick my blueberries? Sounds the same to me. But even Jake Tapper, which of course it's CNN, so I'm not shocked, he was in on it too.
To a question about, because one of the reasons that President Trump got elected, according to President Trump in an interview, I think it was with Kristen Welker of NBC, was because of grocery prices. Not the only reason, but a reason: high prices, inflation, especially at the grocery. The Department of Agriculture says that between 2020 and 2022, 42% of crop workers were undocumented immigrants. And in many cases, as you know, these migrants do jobs many Americans do not want to do. So how does President Trump make sure that the effort to deport people who are not in this country legally doesn't end up hurting Americans who want safe borders, absolutely, but also don't want to see even more higher prices in groceries?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not your position, Jake, you're just asking the question, that we should supply America's food with exploitative illegal alien labor. I obviously don't think that's what you're implying. Only 1% of alien workers in the entire country work in agriculture. The top destination for illegal aliens are large cities like New York, like Los Angeles, and small industrial towns, of course, all across the heartland, as we've seen with the Biden flights. None of those illegal aliens are doing farm work. Those 30,000 illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped into Springfield.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
But I'm explaining this. It's important to understand.
No, you're kind of changing the subject. I mean, I'm talking about the ones.
I will give me 30 minutes. I'll go as deep as you want on this.
We don't have
you
30
and your
minutes.
audience.
I don't have a third. I'm talking about the ones that work in the agriculture industry.
I'm
you can
explaining
come back
to you
and we
your
can talk
audience.
about the ones in the cities. I swear.
I'll do the whole answer. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. So we are going to unapologetically enforce our immigration laws, and as I'm sure you will celebrate, we are going to unleash the power and might of the U.S. government to eradicate the presence of transnational threats on our soil.
Great answer. Jake Tapper tried to stop him from answering it. Oh, well, you're changing the subject. No, let him answer. You asked the man a question, allow him to answer it. But yeah, even Jake Tapper. Well, they're picking crops, so who's going to pick the crops? Goodness gracious.
State, which he can now do because of the Supreme Court. And he's going to take on these countries that screw American workers. That's the plan. And by the way, he's going to crack down on immigration to the benefit of American workers.
He's going to deport 20 million people, the people who pick your crops, the people who process your meat, the people who, care for your grandmother, the people who serve all sorts of critical functions in this country. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. That was the first thing that she went to. The people that pick your crops. Bro, it's the Democrat Party that is the racist party. I mean, full stop. Full stop. It's them. It's not us. And that's one of the things that I've learned being on this journey of discovering the truth. When you really open your eyes and open your mind to allow other ideas, narratives to come in, and you dissect it all, right? Because for a long time, I was a Democrat who just didn't want to hear about anything Republican and just believed everything that Democrats were saying and doing. Now, granted, I didn't get involved politically, right? But just in terms of like seeing headlines and things in certain places, like I would just believe it and just run with that. That would be the truth to me. But once I open my mind to, okay, well, let me hear the Republicans out. Let me see what it is that the Republicans are about. Let me listen to Donald Trump. Let me actually watch him myself, not get a secondhand headline from somebody else. I realized Democrats accuse Republicans and Trump of doing and being what Democrats actually are. Democrats will call Republicans racist, but really it's them that are the racists. Democrats will say Republicans broke the border, but really they did. And I have proof. I literally made a whole video on it. Joe Biden admitted, if I open this border wrong, it's going to cause, I forgot his exact words, but some of you probably remember that clip in that video. He said it could cause some major problems, basically. And, hey, it's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. Mayorkas talking about getting rid of, or no, Joe Biden talking about getting rid of Trump's executive orders on the border. But they point at Republicans and say Republicans broke the border. They also don't mention that Republicans passed a bill to close the border and secure the border over 2 years ago. But Chuck Schumer never wanted to take it up for a vote. So it just sat on his desk. And then when it came time, Democrats brought up a bill that didn't actually close the border, but it basically legalized what was already happening. And then when Republicans said, hell no, oh, it's Republicans' fault. But they never mentioned that Republicans had already passed the bill, nor did they mention that Joe Biden is the one that opened the border in the first place. Oh, man. The more you know, right? The more you know. It's actually them. It's actually them. It's been them the entire time. I also want to play this clip because this is an absolute classic, but this perfectly encapsulates how Democrats think. Some of you will probably remember this one.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that,
no.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
but
they
Latinos
don't
are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
Okay.
Like, I'm not part of this argument with
I think what you're saying is that Trump himself
needs to look out
probably
his window and
relies on a lot of these people that he's insulting.
Bro, she was so serious when she said that. Who is going to clean your toilets, Donald Trump? These people are just janitors. They clean your toilets. They wash your poop. Who's going to do that? And then, of course, they all tried to run cover for her, but let a Republican say something like that, and oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Oh, I guarantee you they wouldn't run cover for that one. Guarantee it. Guarantee. But yeah, man, I just had to call out Democrats on their blatant racism. It's blatant. Blatant at this point. Okay? And I agree with Stephen Miller. These illegals will be deported, and we are not apologizing for it. If it means the economy crashes, so be it. We'll figure it out later. Okay? But they're going to get deported whether you like it or not. That's what we voted for. Oh, wait. Don't they talk about democracy? That's what we voted for. Even though we don't live in a democracy, we live in a constitutional republic. But anyway, they always talk about democracy and voting. Well, we voted. This is what the country wanted. Trump ran on this. Deportations. Mass amounts of deportations. The largest deportation effort in history. He ran on this. This is what the country wanted. So why are you opposing that? You believe in democracy. We don't live in a democracy, though. Kind of interesting, isn't it? They cherry pick. They pick and choose. Pick and choose when they want to. Democracy. Well, the democracy chose. How do you feel about that, Jake Tapper? Abby Phillips? But of course not. Since it's Republicans now, all that democracy talk goes out the window. The people didn't actually choose, okay? We didn't actually choose, right? Anyway, as always, thanks for tuning in. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.